Hey friend, today we're going to talk about mixing vocals with one plugin. And I know you're like, if you watched the video last week, you're like, you already did this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But I didn't really hit on the whole plugin. And Neural DSP reached back out to me, or they actually reached out to me. They sent me a DM and they said they really liked the video and they just wanted me to dive in more. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about more of the wet effects that I didn't really get into. And so if you guys missed it last week, I go through the plugin Mantra that they just recently released from this video. I think just been like a couple weeks or something. And it's basically an all-in-one vocal mixing plugin, which is, questionable, right? Like you should question that. if that pops up where it's like, hey, this one plugin will take care of this thing, you should question that. But I was very surprised. So if you guys have not checked out that video, go check it out. I'll link it down in the description below where you guys can go check that out. And it's kind of me going through initially listening to it, comparing it to what I would normally do on a mix on my lead vocal. And so today I'm going to hit more on the wet effects. But real quick, down below, mixing cheat sheet for live worship recordings. Absolutely free. Grab that if you want it. It's free. All right, let's dive in. So we have a bit of a different song. I wanted to do it on a different song because I wanted to mess with it in a different context. So here is, let me see if I have these off. Yeah. So here is Mantra, and I have it on the lead vocal here, and I basically just copied what the lead vocal I did have here, and then I took all the effects off except for clarity. I left clarity on there because I want to take out some of the drums and stuff like that. So this is, let me just give you a solo. This is what the vocal sounds like with Mantra on it.
I am standing here today by your mercy and your grace.
And then here I'm going to bypass it here.
I am standing here today.
Let me try to volume match them actually.
Here today. I am standing here today.
There we go.
By your mercy and your
So the EQ and the sculpt section, where it kind of does like an AI thing where it reads the source coming in and does some cool stuff, and then you can change the target curve here. I actually ended up going on bright and airy, and so we're gonna stick with that for now. And then it goes into a de-esser, just doing a little bit of de-essing, and then you have a parametric EQ that the AI will make some changes there. The only thing I decided to also do is pull out some of this 1K I did not like. And then compression, you have the a tube, which is like an LA2A, the stress, which is like a distressor, and then you have the multi, which is kind of like an OTT style compression. I like the tube for this song in particular because it's not like a big fast song. I would use FG stress if you want it more, your vocal more like pushed into the mix. And then the last in the chain on this first page is the saturation. Have it on tape 62%, but I dropped the gain quite a bit. And so I just encourage you guys to go to Neural DSP and just download the demo, because the demo, you can basically do anything you want for like, I think it's 14 days. So one thing I did not hit on last time that I was doing the demo was the tuning. So there's so many vocal tuners out there. I am adamant about melodyning if you can. If you have the time, you have the finances, you have the ability, melodyne it. It's just going to sound usually the best. But here's the thing: is I threw this on and I was actually really impressed. Really impressed. You up here in this section here, you have your root and scale. So we're in D major, I believe. I'm not actually 100% sure. I'm pretty sure it's D major. It's either D or G. And then you have the tuning, which it'll show you how many cents it is off here, 100 to 100. And you have the amount of attack, which is, how fast it's going to be. You want T-Pain, throw it up to 100, which I don't, we don't want that for worship. And then you have your root and your formant. Controls here. Tolerance, I actually didn't even adjust that. So let's adjust the sensitivity of the pitch analysis. Lower low tolerance values increases the sensitivity of the module. So it just depends on how sensitive you want it to react to each note. We're just going to leave it at 30. And then the humanize function is very similar to the humanize function in auto-tune. And so I'm just going to turn it off and then turn it back on.
I am standing here today.
So you can hear a couple of those notes were a little bit off, so we'll throw that on.
I am standing here today.
So you guys hear that 2 where she hits that A? It was much cleaner, and I didn't hear any artifacts or anything like that. So hats off to Neural DSP on this tuner. I definitely overlooked it. Not using the gate for this live worship recording stuff. Gates are funny because if it gets open, then all of a sudden the cymbals are coming through, and if the cymbals are not coming through before, it just sounds crazy. So yeah, that is the first page. And here on the second page is the harmonies page. Now I am not going to do it on this song because there are so many things happening. You can hear the background vocalist, you can hear the drums, and it's affecting the harmony engine, and it just doesn't work. Like, I've tried several different things, it just doesn't work. So we're just not even going to worry about that today for this song. Don't worry, I have a studio recording that I'm going to show you in just a second. So don't, like, if you guys are studio users as well as, like, you know, doing live worship mixes, just wait, because I'll get to it, and it's super cool. Okay, so on the last page is your effects page, which is your wet effects. And I was very skeptical because I am a big proponent of having a few different reverbs, delays, like putting it all together, making it sound cohesive. And so we're just going to dive in here, and I'm going to flip this delay on. I've already tweaked it, but I will show you. I'll kind of flip through these things. So here we go, the delay.
By your mercy and your grace, and with thanksgiving I will say.
So very smooth sounding. I took a lot of high end out, so that it's only going to like 8K, and then low cut to 300. And I put the time at an eighth note. I felt like that felt good for the song. Feedback's at 30%. And what's cool is you can change the amount of mix for the harmonies and the main vocal. So if we did use the harmony engine, you can actually change the amount of, so you can put like more reverb or no delay on, which is what I would normally do. I'd never put delay on harmonies, so I would like literally destroy that. I'd get rid of it. And then this is a very cool little function on the bottom of each, or on the bottom of the reverb and the delay, is the ducking function. So basically what this does is it's going to duck it for the amount that you want on a scale from 1 to 100. On whenever the vocal, the raw vocal, the dry vocal, whenever that comes back in, it's going to lower the delay of volume. And so I have it sitting at 40%. But basically, like, if you have a part where they're going and going and going, the delay is going to basically duck the volume while they're singing, and then raise it back up whenever it is, whenever they're not actually singing. So we go to this part here. So you guys can hear the delay just kind of like popped up into that space there. So let's just listen to it in the track here. Sorry, I need to turn it up. I didn't realize how low it got.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name, Jesus.
So super cool. I love that because oftentimes I will either do some automation or have to do it in another plugin. Sometimes plugins don't have the ducking function, so super cool that they added that. The other delays that they have is an analog delay, so we'll just solo that, and I'll let you guys hear that. It sounds pretty cool.
Beautiful, how marvelous is.
So that would be probably my second favorite. Circular delay doesn't work for probably what I'm doing, but it sounds cool.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name.
So it's definitely got a cool sound. It just doesn't work for worship, which is, I know, mainly what this channel is about. But it could work really cool for like a cool effect if you guys are doing some cool stuff. And then the last one is just a dual delay, just kind of a normal sounding delay where you can control the left and the right of, if you want to change it to an eighth note, dotted eighth note, quarter note. So pretty much a basic delay, that however you want to control it. But I love the tape delay. This has definitely been my favorite. Once I've listened to all of it, and I have the ping pong turned on. You don't have to turn that on. It sounds great both ways. Okay, reverb. So let's turn the delay off just for now, and let's just give this reverb a listen. I chose the plate. You have a hall, a plate, and what they call an ambience. Okay. And so, yeah, let's just give this a listen here.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name.
And so again, you have the main vocal mix and the harmonies mix. So if in the case of like having harmonies, I would boost this harmonies probably a little bit more to kind of push them back in the mix, trying to make it sound as natural as possible, even though they're fake harmonies, right? Again, with the ducking function is on, have the high cut to 6K, even lower, and the low cut at 250. And I use quite a bit of reverb because, worship music. So let's give this a listen in the track.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name.
So, honestly, a great sounding plate. This is really, really cool. Let's listen to the hall real quick, just so you guys can hear it.
How beautiful, how marvelous
Sounds really, really good. And then here is the ambience.
is your name, Jesus. Oh, yes.
Just kind of putting them in a room.
How powerful.
So pretty cool. I am definitely sticking with the plate reverb. One request to Neural DSP is I want 2 of these. I would actually want to do a hall and a plate. Or if you can shift click them or something. I don't know. I would like another reverb module, 100%. Or if maybe you keep the same 3 modules and you can exchange modulation for another reverb or something like that, or the doubler. Either way. Okay, and then modulation, you have chorus, flanger, as I call it, or chorus, flanger, and phaser. I'm just kidding, no. Chorus, flanger, and phaser. The only thing I would really use a lot at all for the worship type stuff is probably the chorusing effect. It can be a super cool effect to throw in to make your vocals just sound a little bit wider. So let's just give this a listen. It's at 23%. For the vocal mix.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name, Jesus.
And so if you guys are listening on headphones or, good speakers in a good room, you can hear the width just happen once I kind of flip it on. And then, of course, you can change the actual amount of width. As you can see, the sine waves are altering in that picture there to see, kind of give you a visual representation of how off it's going to be. But I don't know. Let's just throw it all the way up, see what it sounds like.
Oh, yes. How powerful, how excellent.
Yeah, I won't use this very much for what we're doing for these this live worship mix stuff. It sounds cool though. I'm not opposed to it. It sounds really cool, and maybe you can do some cool effects. So here is the flanger.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name, Jesus.
So just another cool effect, something cool that you can do. And then last but not least is the phaser.
Oh, yes. How powerful.
So it's cool. Again, just not what we would normally use. And then the doubler, you guys kind of saw me do this on the last video. Unless you missed it, go check it out in the last video. But I'm just going to throw it on here. I have the spread at 14%. And so what that means is how wide it's actually going to go. So if I bring this up, you can actually see in the visual representation of how wide it goes. So see, as the little yellow dotted circles are going much wider. But what I actually ended up liking was just a little bit of it on the vocal, especially on the main vocal.
How beautiful, how marvelous.
And if you guys are wearing headphones, you'll be able to hear how wide this is.
Is your name, Jesus.
And so what I would actually like to cancel. What I would actually like to do here is just make the vocal just sound a little bit wider, like a little bit bigger sounding, like overall bigger. I don't want to make it stereo. I want to just make it like open up a little bit so it just sounds bigger across everything. And that's what I would do with the doubler. And so now let's throw on the delay and reverb at the same time and give this a listen.
How beautiful, how marvelous is your name.
So to me, that sounds pretty cool. It may be too much reverb. We'll see with the whole mix and everything. So let's do the build up here.
You're worthy of my praise. How beautiful, how marvelous is your name, Jesus. Oh yes.
So that sounds sick. Okay, and then what I also want to do in this video was, what do you do when you have a bunch of BGVs? Do you put it on all of them, or do you just throw it on the bus? Well, I'm just going to throw it on the bus and see what happens. So we're going to go to this part here. Let's take mantra off here, and I want to disable. Let me disable all of these things. Make sure they're not turned on. So this is what the BGVs sound like with nothing on them.
You're worthy of my praise.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to turn clarity and waves tune on so that it, make sure it's set to D. Okay, so you get some tuning involved because I won't be able to tune them all with mantra. But we're going to listen to it now.
Worthy of my praise.
That's much better. Okay, so now I'm going to let mantra listen to this and then see what it does on like a BGV bus.
Worthy of my praise. How beautiful, how marvelous.
Okay, let's look at see what happened. So one thing I didn't really hit on, I don't think last time was, oh no, I did. You put this in mixing mode and then it will activate all of the sculpt things, all the things, but mainly the dynamics. And then I want to change the input mode to stereo because it is a stereo input because I have all these BGVs panned into the bus. So just want to make sure that is right. And let's just listen to it now.
Worthy of my praise. How beautiful.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It sounds cleaned up, like quickly cleaned up. So let's go through the target curve. I'm just going to arrow over into each one and just see which one sounds best to me in this moment.
You're worthy of my praise. How beautiful, how marvelous is your name, Jesus. How powerful.
Okay, it's between modern, scooped, and pop. I think I like pop the most.
How excellent is your name, Jesus.
All right, we're gonna stick with popped. I really like that. Sounds really, really good. So now let's just turn sculpt off and just see how how it sounds.
How powerful, how excellent.
I don't know if you guys are listening to the singing, but sculpt is very powerful and very excellent. Not as much as the Lord, no, not in comparison. But holy crap, that is awesome. That is very, very cool. So now let's adjust the EQ and the dynamics percentage. And so the EQ is how much of the shape you want, and then the dynamics is how much it's actually reacting to the input.
How powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus.
Okay, I'm going to put the dynamics at 100. I think that is going to be right for what we're doing here with the BGVs.
How powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus.
Okay, we're not actually getting too bad of S's, so that's pretty cool. Like EQ here, let's just there's a little bit of a build up in the middle that I want to fix.
How powerful, how excellent is your name.
So there's something around 800, 900. We're just going to make that a little bit wider, pull that out. Is there a way to just bypass? Yeah, there we go. Okay.
How powerful, how excellent.
Yeah, so if you guys heard that, there's some buildup right there in the 850 area, 847. That when I take this off, you just hear it gets like muddy.
Powerful, how excellent is your name.
Yeah, so that's very, very simple. I don't think I'm going to change anything else on that. Hit the compressor. We're going to... Let's try OTT. I want to see what that sounds like.
Powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus. Hallelujah. Powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus. Powerful.
There's something about the tube that I really like. Is there's like a rounded low end to the vocal that just sounds really, really good. So we're going to leave it there. I'm going to back it off probably just a little bit.
How powerful, how excellent.
Cool. Now, I don't know what it is, but about worship mixes, if I mix something else, I like to use a lot of tube saturation, but with worship, it's tape every single time. Don't know why. Don't know. There's something about tape saturation on whatever plugin I'm using. I prefer it. So it's just a personal preference. Let's listen to this tape here.
How powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus.
Sweet. I think that sounds awesome. We're not going to hit the Harmony engine because it's a stereo input. And now we're just going to put some reverb on. And I'm going to go with the hall reverb this time. Let's see what that sounds like.
How powerful, how excellent is your name, Jesus.
Let's see what plate sounds like.
Powerful,
No, we're going to stick with hall.
how excellent Jesus, how powerful, how excellent,
Okay, let's see what that sounds like in the mix here.
how powerful, yes, how excellent is your name, Jesus.
Yeah, so sounding very, very cool. It's a little bit brighter than I think I would normally mix just off the cuff. I'd probably need to darken the vocals just a little bit, especially lead vocal. But it sounds awesome. Like it sounds great. Like it almost sounds, it's like 5% away from being finished in my opinion. So very, very cool. Okay, let's go to the studio version here. And this is a song that I worked on forever ago. I don't even know how many years, but what I did is I just copied over the lead vocal and tried to get it to sound as good as I possibly could with mantra. And then there's a little bit of EQ and a little bit of soothe on the back end of it. Nothing major though, just doing a little bit of cleanup because I wasn't as good as recording then as I am now. So we're going to turn all of these off and I'm going to show you guys the Harmony engine. So again, please make sure that your root and scale are right. I ended up going with this open triad. So basically once you get your root and scale chosen, it will open up this voicing library where then you can basically choose the chords, you know, and they don't have like a billion suggestions, but all the main ones. So I did open triad. So you got your tonic and then your third and the fifth, just very, very simple. And then down here you have your pairings. So it looks like we have orange and purple on. So looks like purple is the fifth, and then the pair 3 is the orange, and that's the third. And you can control these individual levels here and the width of each one. So if I change this width, you can see it visually, and then the volume level you can also see visually there. And then you also have an overall volume section, basically an overall section here for all of the harmonies here. So you can control the pitch, the timing, if you want it to be, so it doesn't sound exactly, the same. It can be a little bit off, sound a little bit more natural as it can sound, right? If it's not really generated, it's not really real. So let's just turn this off and I'm going to show you guys the vocal real quick.
That I wouldn't crave your heart, that I wouldn't quench your spirit within. My lips and heart would cry the same thing.
Okay, cool. So now let's add some harmonies into this chorus. So let's listen. I'll just let you guys listen to the chorus real quick.
You are holy. You are worthy. Jesus, above all things.
So I would want to automate this into the chorus. I'm not going to do the automation, but I was going to show you guys the actual generator here. So let's dive in. Let's get it turned back on. We're going to solo her just so we can hear it. And let's just bring the level all the way up and just give it a listen.
You are holy. You are worthy.
So it sounds pretty cool already. So let's just bring it down and then listen to it in the mix. I think I had it around like 60-something%. I don't remember.
You are holy. You are worthy. Jesus, above all things.
So very, very subtle, which is what I would do in that moment. But we can go to a part where it's kind of picking up a little bit. Same chorus.
You are holy. You are worthy. Jesus, above all things, and you are holy, you are worthy, Jesus, above all things. Oh, that I wouldn't grieve your heart, that I wouldn't quench your spirit.
So kind of crazy, to be honest. We're gonna grab the 7th. I want to see what that sounds like.
Spirit within me. Oh, that I wouldn't bow to pride, that my lips and heart would
So we'll
cry.
grab the 4th. See what that sounds like in the mix.
Oh, that I wouldn't grieve your heart,
No, don't like
that I
it.
wouldn't quench your spirit within me. Oh, that I wouldn't bow to pride, that my lips and heart would cry the same.
Okay. So super cool. Obviously you guys can hear that. So, like, if you guys just gently bring the harmonies in, it actually sounds really good. Surprisingly really good. Let's put the effects in. So I did tape delay and the plate and the doubler here, which I think I left the doubler on, which is fine. So let's just give it a listen with that. We're going to turn these back down a little bit.
Oh, that I wouldn't grieve your heart, that I wouldn't quench your spirit within me. Oh, that I wouldn't bow to pride, that my lips and heart would cry the same thing. You are holy, you are worthy.
So, I mean, you guys can hear it. I don't know. Let me know down below if you guys think this is cool, because I think it's very cool. What I would alternatively do if I were, utilizing this in a real big mix that I'd be working on. I haven't used this on one of my own mixes quite yet. I am still messing with it and seeing if I really like it, which I really do so far. It's very cool. I love this section. The sculpt part is insane, and the EQ sounds good. Compressor sounds good. Saturation sounds good. The only thing that I am unsure about is having this all on the same chain. I like to use buses, and I feel like sometimes it's easier to automate that way. So what I might alternatively do, and what I would tell you guys to do, is if you guys wanted to use the Harmony engine, is I would just duplicate the lead vocal, and then just go here. I'll do an example. So duplicate track complete, and then we'll do lead vocal harmony engine or something. That's way too long, but you guys get what I'm saying. And then you would come to mantra here, and then keep the same settings that you had here if you want. I mean, you can also change them, make them a little bit darker sounding and whatnot. But then go to the harmony engine and create your whole harmonies, and then leave the lead vocal here, because you can take the actual direct input, which is right here. You can take that and kill it. So then you only have harmony. So you can use this as like a send effect. If you wanted to, you could put this on a bus or something, but I think I would just duplicate it and then chop out the parts that I don't want the harmonies. So then, in these verses here, I would just take these out and then only have it in the choruses, if that makes sense. So you can get really creative with this. This is one of the best harmony engines I've heard. I mean, there's probably good ones out there, but alternatively, I like to avoid that. But this sounds pretty good. Let me know down below what you guys think. I want to hear honest opinions. The two things that I still think they could fix is when you turn it on, it has everything on, and I don't like that. I want it to be everything off. So what I want to be able to do is change the actual startup. And I still haven't found a place to do that. So if you guys know, there's a place to actually change how it boots up. I want to change that. but otherwise it's very, very cool. And I sometimes want to change these. So like I maybe would want the de-esser before the sculpt, or maybe even after the EQ, or maybe the compression over, or actually I wouldn't mind 2 stages of compression. I wouldn't mind having a tube and a stress to stack on top of each other, doing little things, which is what I would normally do in my main chain when I'm doing vocals. Is I'll hit it with like an LA2A and then an 1176. So those are the things that I would add, and request from Neural DSP is to change that. And then alternatively on the effects side, either add another reverb, or if you can hot swap the modulation, that would be super awesome. But I think they did an awesome job with this, especially for they've never come out with a vocal processing thing ever. So hats off to them. This is super cool. It's just different and fun to use. You know what I mean? Like sometimes opening up parametric EQ and then we're doing stuff on it, and then opening up the RVox, and there's a bug, I guess, but sometimes it gets a little monotonous. Even though I have so much fun with all my mixes, I just had the most fun on my last mix. So it's just like a kind of a breath of fresh air, and maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. We'll see, but it's super cool, and I really like it, and I encourage you guys just to check it out and see if it works for you guys' production. I think that's it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Mixing cheat sheet down below. God bless you. Also, my wife made me, well, she didn't like make me, but she made me grow a mustache. I want to hear honest opinions about it. I've never really had facial hair. I've never like grown it out, So honest opinions about the mustache, yay or nay. I didn't like it at first. I'm starting to like it. It's been like 3 weeks now. So let me know. I'm just curious. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.